Hello, this is Sheshachalam from AstroGuide Mysore. So after a very long gap, it's around 28 or 29 days, I'm back with the videos. There was some disturbance and a lot of work, so that's why there was a gap. So many people had already asked me that have you stopped, loading videos? So nothing like that. My point of teaching the basics, it's going to be there for another 3 years. So lot of videos are in line, and today I will be giving you a very different perspective of a yoga, which is the Gajakesari Yoga. So people usually know about the one great Gajakesari Yoga, which is a world famous yoga with regard to astrology. That is the Jupiter Moon combination. So the normal Gajakesari Yoga is defined as Jupiter placed in the Kendra from Moon. So if Moon is in a particular place, then 1, 4, 7, 10, these placements, if they are very accurately placed and there is no malefic disturbance or conjunction, then we say that the Gajakesari Yoga is complete. But let us now understand different classical astrologers who have penned, and elucidated many different kinds of Gajakesari Yoga. So I have earlier in one of my Gajakesari Yoga videos also I have just given a highlight on this, telling that it's not only Moon that creates Gajakesari Yoga, it's also the benefic planets. Particularly I was linking Jupiter and Mercury, two great Buddhi planets. That is, one is knowledge, the other one is curiosity. So it is for seeking, the other one is for Jnana. So Jnana and Arjana, Jnana Arjana, that means it is trying to gain knowledge. So this is also a Gajakesari Yoga. That highlight I had given you earlier, but still today now I will be giving you the variations of the Gajakesari Yoga, and the results anyway will depend on the planets which are involved in that particular yoga formation. So if Venus is involved, then 100% your analysis should be like Venus is for implementation, and if Mercury is involved, it is for intellect. If Jupiter is involved, it is for wisdom. If Moon is involved, it's for business. Moon is a Vaishya planet, it is for business. It will always think about the commercial aspect of knowledge. So that is why Gajakesari Yoga of Jupiter and Moon got a lot of importance. That is because knowledge which converts itself into wisdom and which then gets transformed into commercial application, that is Moon. So a fast moving planet like Moon along with a slow and stable planet like Jupiter, when they come into a combination, it's a fantastic yoga. So now let us go into Phaladipika. Phaladipika calls it Gajakesari Yoga in a different way. It only calls it a Kesari Yoga. So what is the Gajakesari Yoga and Kesari Yoga? People have given a lot of description on this particular thing. Here Kesari means that the person gets the strength like a lion. The Kesari is the mane of the lion. So it's a male yoga. Predominantly it's a male yoga. So please don't take it in the other ways that only males will have Gajakesari Yoga. No, nothing like that. Even a female, when she has a Gajakesari Yoga, will get that social importance and recognition which usually in the male dominated society was got by men. So that is what is to be understood. So that very clearly in Phaladipika has been explained, that when a woman gets a Gajakesari Yoga of Jupiter and Moon, or Jupiter or Mercury, Jupiter and Venus, they get the particular highlight in the society with regard to fame. And this particularly happens when Sun is very strongly posited in the chart, lonely somewhere else or in combination with the yoga, but not involved in a combustion. So in BPHS, Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, which I usually talk more often, Moon Jupiter combination, anyway I have already spoken about it as the regular standard Gajakesari Yoga. Here Moon Mercury combination is very much highlighted. Two fast moving planets, Moon and Mercury, usually gives rise to panic, anxiety, sleeplessness, many other problems, but still if this is placed in a Sthira Rashi along with the Sthira Graha, that is a slow moving planet like Jupiter, or if there is an aspect of a slow moving planet like Jupiter over the combination of Moon and Mercury, this combination suddenly gets that, that inertia, that it slows down. Or else Moon Mercury combination is a very tough combination to withhold, and it runs very fast. The person who has that combination would want to go into full speed into commercial establishment, banking, business, marketing, so many other things. So it's a good yoga, but to attain stability, to attain that what we call as sustainability in that particular yoga, one needs to understand where the yoga is posited. If it is in a Dvisvava Rashi, not recommended, because Moon is a very fluctuating planet, Mercury indecisive planet, and an indecisive planet and a fluctuating planet both together in a Dvisvabhava Rashi, that is a dual mindset Rashi, it's not a great position. So you need to see this particular combination of Moon and Mercury in the Sthira Rashi. Sthira Rashi is a fixed sign. Now Sthira Rashi like Vrishabha Rashi, one of the beautiful Rashis for business. So you can see other Sthira Rashis also, they give out very good results with regard to Moon and Mercury. But why only Vrishabha was highlighted? Because Moon gets exalted, nothing else. So going to Chowkhamba. Chowkhamba is also one of the epic, classics. I am talking about classics which are 5,000 years, 4,500 years old. Not about the classics which are around 1,500 or 2,000 years old. We call this as modern astrological researchers. But 5,000 years old ago, if you go into Chowkhamba, then Jupiter in angle from Moon is also considered as Gajakesari Yoga, which is the standard Gajakesari Yoga, but still there is a small variation here. Jupiter in angle, that is Kendra, from ascendant is also considered as Gajakesari Yoga. And if Jupiter is in its own sign or an exaltation position, in this particular case, when it is in Kendra, it gives rise to double yoga. That is, one is Hamsa Yoga, Panchamahaparusha Yoga, and also Gajakesari Yoga. So Chowkhamba, in that particular series of books, you can see that Jupiter alone in the Kendra from Lagna is considered to give the same level of results as it is from Moon in Kendra. So, okay. One more very big, text which was written was the Jataka Parijata. So Jataka Parijata is also huge. So if you go into it, Jupiter in angle from Moon, that is the first option which everybody agrees to, which is actually first elucidated by BPHS, that is Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. But the second aspect is that Moon can be aspected by Venus, Jupiter and Mercury. See, particularly there are many yogas. When Venus, Jupiter, Mercury and Moon, all these four are considered, these are considered as natural benefics. Keeping aside all the Lagna, which Lagna, where Rahu and Ketu is posited, who is the Yoga Karaka, all that if you keep it aside, if you see the natural benefics and the natural malefics, Moon, Mercury, Jupiter and Venus are considered as natural benefics. So the aspect of these planets, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury over Moon gives rise to a strong and one of the most powerful Gajakesari Yoga. And here it is three-pronged, three-pronged. One is for the intellect, that is for the speed of marketing and business. The second one is for knowledge, wisdom, and the third one is for implementation, that is industrious. So you have all these three giving a fantastic yoga, and this is also known as, in other words, like Trikala Jnana Yoga. So Trikala Jnana Yoga has some other variation also along with it, but for the basics we can see that if you have these three planets together, Venus, Jupiter and Moon, here it is not together, no, it's only aspecting Moon. So Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, if you have all these three planets together or in mutual aspect, Trikala Jnana Yoga comes into being. And here the fourth point, the entity moon, the mind, is also involved, which gives rise to one of the strongest Gajakesari Yogas. But keep in mind, these alternates or Gajakesari Yogas, all different types of Gajakesari Yogas, different people have told about it, should not have a malefic disposition. It will give very less results like the 6, 8, 12. Should not be in bad malefic combinations like retro Mars, retro Saturn, or a Saturn Rahu. These combinations will pull down any yoga. This is why a person, people keep asking me whether the yoga is formed, whether the yoga is formed. Nobody asks whether the yoga is cancelled, how much it is effective, what is the intensity of a yoga. See, yoga means that it is there, but will it give? It is there. Yes. Will it give? How much? When? All these should be studied, and this will be anyway discussed with charts in the advanced classes, because we need to understand to quantize a yoga. To quantize a yoga in 300 important combinations by V.V. Raman, the first chapter, he has very clearly, a great person who has done quantitizing of a yoga. He has given the exact combination of a Gajakesari Yoga to understand what is the potency of the yoga. So people who want to study it in detail can also understand it from there. But I will anyway be teaching the same thing, with the use of board and the chalk. So I will do it in the old school method. So this is what is the variation of a Gajakesari Yoga. Anyway, people know the results of the Gajakesari Yoga. It gives social appreciation, social identification, social recognition, social service. A person has that benevolent generosity to help others rather than being selfish, greedy, jealous. These people don't have this type of qualities. They are not, money mongers. So well-placed Gajakesari Yoga, these people will have good outward, knowledge. They would want to spread knowledge. They don't want to usurp other people's property. So this is a very nice yoga to be in general. So thank you very much for today's class. God bless.